it's time for some live side splits. I can see that I have a little bit of a mistake here. I'm going to scoot the camera up. And hey, David, welcome back. Oh, we got some tie in here. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Oh, we're running a few minutes behind, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and people will come in as they come in. If you are new here, we do 45 minutes of live side split stretching to build consistency, to build a little bit of community, and to make suffering a little bit less painful because it's a little bit more fun and a little bit more community based. If that makes no sense, it's because I completely forgot to tell you that we do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that is how we build consistency and community because we keep on showing up every single day. All right, with that spiel over, let's start. We are going to do some hip cars as part of our warm-up. It's going to look like this. Lift the knee as high as you can directly in front of you. We're going to open up the hips as wide as you can. Keep that knee high. Try your best to imagine pointing your leg directly to the left or right, depending on what angle I guess you're seeing this. Rotate that leg. I'm going to spin around so you can see what my leg is doing. You don't have to spin, but this leg, try your best to lift the knee as high as possible, and then lift that ankle even more. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Bring this knee behind the standing knee. Try to keep your back relatively straight. And that is one rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side, 10 on the right side. Let's go. You can hold on to the wall for balance. Up, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. That's 3, 4, high knee, open, ankle, down and back. 5, 6, 7, high knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. 8. Ooh, I'm a little bit off balance. That's okay. You can always reset. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. I think that's 10, but I'm going to do one more just in case I counted wrong. Whew. That is at least 10 on the left side. Let's turn around and do at least 10 on the right side. Again, you can use the wall for a little bit of support. Helps you focus all of your effort into the leg. But if you really want to work on your balance, you can do that too. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open up, ankle up, down and back. I think that's 3, maybe 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, it's high knee, open up, keep that knee high, rotate the leg so the ankle is high as possible. Bring the leg down and back. 9, last one, and 10. Whew. Give your hips a little light massage, and we will continue. That is hip cars going forward. Now we're going to do them going backwards. Same exact movement. Just a little confusing when you start doing them backwards because you're like practicing one direction. So let's talk it through. Alright, we're going to bring the leg down and back first. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Pull the leg behind you. Try to keep the body straight. Feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Then we're going to lift the leg directly up to the side. Try to get the ankle as high as possible. Really rotate. Bring the leg. Ooh, what am I talking about? I also forgot what going backwards means. Bring the ankle down. Keep that knee high, and then bring the knee to the front. Alright, that is one rep. Let's do 10. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. I think that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Whew. Shake out that leg. Give this a light massage. And we have one last leg to do. Let's go. Back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Feel the stretch. Lift. Bring the ankle up, 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 up. Bring the ankle all the way down. Bring the knee up, all the way to the front. Oh. Usually, I have a little bit of pain going from here to here, but somehow I don't, so that's weird. Okay, cool. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Ah, there we go. Boom. Back. Side. Ankle. Knee. Ooh. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. I can't remember how many we've done. I got distracted, but my hip not hurting on the first rep. But I think this is like 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. Whew. It's not just the leg that's doing all the movement that gets a little tired after doing hip curls. The leg that's helping you balance and stay stable. It's fighting you when your legs are moving all over the place. It's trying to keep you balanced. It's also going to feel tired. And if you're feeling it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So give yourself a little bit of leg massage. Alright, that is hip curls. That is the first part of our warm-up. We're going to move on to part 2. Part 2 is the elephant walk. It looks a little bit like this. We're getting into the L shape. And we're just trying to feel a nice hamstring stretch. The goal is to bring your belly button down. If you're a little bit higher up, that's totally okay. It's part of the process. We're just going to try our best to keep the back relatively straight and bring the belly button down. If your knees are achy at this point, you can give it a slight bend just to relieve a little bit of that pressure. You can still feel the hamstring stretch even if your knees are bent. Alright, we're just going to sit here for a second and breathe. Remember, this is the warm-up. We don't have to be super intense. We're getting warmed up together. And okay, now that we've been here for a couple of seconds, I want you to start bending one knee and straightening out the other leg. While you're doing that, I want you to keep on focusing on bringing the belly button down and try to move and shift through that hamstring tightness. The first couple of seconds are going to be rough. After a while, you'll start feeling a little bit smoother. And then I want you to keep on trying to bring the belly button down. Cool? Alright. We're going to do 10 more seconds of this. 10. Keep on shifting from side to side. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Whew. Okay. That's the hamstring warm-up. We're going to take that same position that we were just in. We're going to do some thoracic rotation. What that looks like is, when you get right back to that same position, I'm facing you now. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other. So right now my right leg is straight. I'm going to take my left hand, so the opposite hand, push against that right leg to help open up my chest. This is thoracic rotation. And we're just getting the upper part of our back to rotate. Reach that arm behind you. Look at those fingers. Keep on trying to reach further behind you and come down and relax for a second. Now we're going to do it on the same other side. Right leg is bent, left leg is straight, right hand going across the body to the left side, pushing, opening up the chest, reaching the hand up behind us, looking at that hand so your neck is getting a little bit of rotation as well, and come on down. That's one rep. Let's do 5. 5 more. Open. That's 1. And 2. And 3. And 4. Last one. Take your time on this last one. 5. Alright. That is some thoracic rotation. Getting your shoulders and your arms a little bit more warmed up. That's the only time we do anything for the shoulders and arms. So hope you enjoyed it because we're not doing any of that stuff again. All right, let's continue. But before we continue, if you're just joining in, we are doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build some community, and hopefully make the suffering on the floor a little bit more bearable because I'm bringing good vibes, you're bringing good vibes, people in the chat are bringing good vibes, and everything is a little bit more fun. That's my goal, to help you practice consistency, to help us get the splits a little bit better together. Cool? That sounds cool. Follow, subscribe, do all those cool things. Keep coming back. We do this every day at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, deep breath. Let's continue. What did we just do? We did the second warm-up exercise. Now we're going to go into number 3. We're doing some Cossack switches. They look like this. There's 2 things to know before we start. Always move so that your knees are traveling in the direction that your toes are pointing. So if my toes are pointing to you, for you guys, I want your knees to go in that direction. I don't want your knee to go out over here or that way. Cool? Now, we are opening up our legs decently wide. This part isn't that important. Point your toes out to start at around 30 to 45 degrees. If you know a position that you're feeling better about, go ahead and get into that. But if you don't, try 30 to 45 degrees. Come on down, and if it's a really challenging position, you can tuck your knee in for a second. Right here, I want you to feel the Achilles tendon and the calf stretch. So I really want you to bring your knees over your toes. I want you to feel the pressure building in the front of your ankle, and I want you to feel the pressure building in your hip. It should not be pain, but it should feel like pressure. And if you're holding this position, your quads are going to fire really hard, trying to keep you stable and upright. That is good. That is fine. That is normal. But I don't want you to actually do that for a very long time. So once you've felt that position and stretched the Achilles, I want you to bring your hamstring down, touch the calves. Your heels are going to come up a little bit. I want you to hang out here in this squished down position for just a second. Cool? Once we're here, I want to talk about this leg. This leg, the toes are pointing out, the knees are pointing out, and the heels are down. I don't know why I pointed up when I said the heels are down, but the heels are down, the knees and the toes are pointed up. What this is external leg rotation. We need it for the side splits in a little bit, so I'm pointing it out now. Okay, we switched this side for a little bit, so let's bring our butts over to the other side. You can put your hands down, help walk yourself over to the other side. We can do this position where we're stretching out the Achilles and the calf, really feeling the pressure in the hip, pressure in the ankle. Then I want you to try your best to sit down into it. Try your best to keep your heel low, but it is going to come up, and that is okay. Just aim to keep your heel low. Cool? From here, doing the same thing on this side. Knees up, toes up, heels down. External leg rotation. We're just going to chill here for a second, and in the meantime, I'm going to talk about what we're going to do after this. We're going to do that same switching thing over and over again. We're going to do 10 reps. If you are feeling stronger, you can get rid of your hands. If you're feeling super strong, you can stand up straight. If you are struggling with your knees a little bit, you can come into a full squat and then come and hang out in this bottom position. Then come up and then hang out in this bottom position. All right, go ahead and get started. We're going to keep on talking about this as we go. If you put your hands down, you remove a lot of the pressure that would otherwise be in your legs. You need less effort to balance. Your low back is firing a little bit less hard. And this is a perfectly good version of the Cossack switch, especially if this is really super difficult for you. Whew. If you're feeling a little bit stronger, you want to remove your hands, put a little bit more weight into those legs. By all means, go through it. If you want to work that lower back, you can try to stand up a little bit straighter. Stick your hands out to help counterbalance. And I want you to make sure that you're not explosively jumping from side to side. I want you to hang out in the stretched out position a little bit for like half a second every time. Okay? I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done because I have not been counting. But I feel like my legs are telling me this is way more than 10. So I hope you are done as well. Because we're going to move on into some hamstring stretches. Whew. For the hamstring stretch, I recommend you grab a pillow, a cushion, something to pad your knee because we're going to do them kneeling. One leg out, one leg on the ground. Go ahead, take a second to grab that, and I'm going to grab a sip of coffee. While you guys can also drink water. Lulu says, hello everyone. Hey Lulu, welcome back. Jay Pizzle says, my back hurts. Is it from the thoracic rotations from a couple seconds ago? Or is that something you've had before coming in, and now the thoracic rotation has made you feel better? Fingers crossed, maybe, possibly. Ooh, T. Whitley has liked the live a whole bunch of times. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Let me keep drinking the coffee and scroll through the chat. Ocean PMNKFR asks, Kung Fu. We're doing some side split stretching, and we do this every day to practice consistency, build a little community. Whew. And I'm super out of breath. Man, I've been talking a lot, huh? We do this every day to practice consistency, build a little community, and hopefully make a bunch of progress in our side splits. Everything that we've done so far is to warm up our bodies because I don't expect anybody to come in having warmed up. And the Cossack switch has some basic strengthening as well as stretching going on for the side splits. And that's why we do it. It is the probably most intense part of the whole entire series because we're trying to get that last little bit of warm up done. After this, we are going right into stretches. The first stretch, in fact, we are going to go into right now, is the hamstring stretch. I've lost my cushion, so I'm going to use the yoga block today. We're going to drop one knee down on that yoga block, and we're going to extend the leg out front. You can use anything to pad your knee. It doesn't have to be a block. It can be really low. It could be a slipper. It could be a pillow. It could be a cushion from the couch. Whatever you need. From here, I want you to open up your leg just a little bit so that it's a little bit more stable and you can balance. If you're too straight in line, you'll start tipping over. So, next, we care about the belly button. Right here. I want you to try your best to bring it down towards the thigh of the leg. I'm going to spin around so that it's easier to see what I'm doing. I want you to pull the leg into the hip. I don't want you to be so extended that you look like you're doing a front split or trying to and look like this. I want you to pull that leg in so you can focus on the hamstring stretch. Once you're here, belly button down, and your hamstrings are going to tighten up and it's going to be super uncomfortable. We're going to do a big inhale, slow exhale, and try to drop into a slightly deeper stretch. We're going to breathe a couple times normal, then we're going to do it again and see how deep we can get. Then we're going to hold the stretch for 30 seconds. Cool. All right. You ready? Let's do a big inhale. Slow exhale. Try to fold deeper. Bring that belly button down to the leg. Some normal breaths. Then we're going to do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Yeah. Okay. Once your hamstring doesn't feel like it's going to get any tighter, not going to let you get any deeper, let's go. 30 seconds. 30. 29. 28. 27. 26. 25. 24. 23. 22. 21. 20. 19. 18. 17. 16. 15. 14. Remember to breathe. Don't hold your breath. 12. 11. 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Okay. Come on out of that hamstring stretch. Bend the knee. Take a couple quick breaths and spin around. Switch the legs. We'll continue on the other side. Same thing. Square up the hips, point them directly forward, shoulders directly forward, leg out, pull it into the hip socket, bring the belly button down to the thighs. Really focus on pushing the belly button down. Inhale and exhale. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Your hamstrings are going to tighten up, and that is exactly what we want. Take some normal breaths. Another inhale and exhale. Exhale slowly. Fold. All right. When you're as deep as you think you can get for now, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, we're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on up out of that hamstring stretch. I'm sweating. You can get rid of the cushion. We don't need it anymore. I think I will use it later for something, but you don't need your cushion anymore. And with that, we are done with stretch number 1. We got 5 total stretches. Let's get into number 2. Number 2 is called the butterfly stretch, and I recommend you do this against the wall. I'll tell you why in just a second. The wall makes everything easier because it helps keep you stable. So, with your hips at the wall, with your shoulders at the wall, with your head at the wall, pull your feet in towards you and bring them together. The goal of the butterfly stretch is to open up the groin area, and that is going to bring your knees down into the ground. So the goal for us right now is to bring the knees to the ground. I recommend you build some strength. Use these outer thigh muscles, use the glutes to help open up your groin with muscle power. It's going to be a little bit weird at first if this is your first time, but just try your best to bring your knees to the ground using your own muscles. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. And once you're as open as you can with your own muscles, now take your hands and apply a little bit of pressure. You'll start feeling pressure in the back of your neck, in your shoulders, in your head, pushing into the wall. That is the wall keeping you from sliding away and doing stuff while you're applying force into your legs. That's why we like the wall. All right. If you're feeling the pressure from your hands, if you're contracting your muscles in your legs, then we are ready to start our 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. Don't forget, we're still contracting those muscles. You can relax them and then contract them again, but don't forget them. And 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, let the hands go first. Maybe you'll notice that your legs are super wide open right now, and you can control it with muscle power. Try your best to move each leg if you can't use it. Oh my god. Whew, the floor must be a little dusty today. If you can't move it with your own muscle power, take your hands, lift your knee up a little bit, give them a light shake, and hopefully they'll be back to normal. Okay, that is stretch number 2, the butterfly. Let's get into some standing pancake. In the standing pancake, you don't have to do anything crazy. We're just opening up our legs decently wide. This is plenty. We're going to fold at the hips to bring the belly button down towards the ground. And that's it. This is the starting position for the standing pancake. Standing pancake is super important because gravity is doing a lot of work. All right. When you are in this position and your hips are making this 90-degree angle, this is when gravity, or the effect of gravity, you're going to feel it the most because it's pulling all of this, your upper body, down towards the ground. Just to extra emphasize it, if you stick your arms out above your head, you'll suddenly feel way more pressure. And if you hold something in your hands like a bottle of water, it'll feel crazy intense. All right. So that is the position that we're going to get into. If you want, you can get into a wider stance. You can shift your butt further back to help counterbalance your arms to help you fold a little bit deeper into the ground. Focus on bringing the belly button down. And maybe if you know what the sits bones are, where the bony part of your butt is when you sit down on something, imagine pointing those slightly up. That will help you fold forward. All right, that's it. Bring the belly button down. Extend the arms if you want. And let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up out of that stretch. If you've been watching how I've been doing it, I basically sit back into it, and this is a little bit more advanced and intense. You definitely do not have to try to do it that hard. For a long time, you'll be able to just focus on bringing your belly button down, and if your chest comes down naturally, that is going to be fine. Whew. But if you want to work on strengthening a bunch of muscles a little bit more, the further back you bring your hips, the more intense some of the pieces in the stretch are going to feel. Oh, man, I'm wobbly. If you did it right, you're going to feel a lot of the stretch in the hamstring and a lot of the stretch in the adductors. The adductors are the muscles inside the thigh, and their job is to pull your leg in towards the center. So when you do the opposite, when you spread your legs wide, those muscles are getting stretched. And the hamstrings are tied into your pelvis, into the hips, and just below the knee. So anytime you bend forward like this with the pelvis, you're going to stretch out the hamstrings. Doesn't matter if your legs are apart in the pancake or if they are together in a regular hamstring stretch. Whew, now that I have filled your head with information, I hope you've had like 30 seconds, a minute to actually relax. The pancake is a really intense stretch, so I like to give a little bit of time in between before we get to the next thing. But now it is time to go to the next thing. We are doing, I believe, the figure four stretch. If you are a regular, you know you can interchange between pigeon and figure four, and you can start and do whatever that you like. But I'm going to explain the figure four today. The figure four looks a little bit like this. We're crossing the leg and bringing it up to the other side of our body, just above the knee. If I was not wearing contrasty shorts, you might notice that this makes the number 4. Woo! Okay, stretch number 4 is the figure 4. And we're bringing the leg up towards the chest, or we're bringing the chest down towards the leg, however you want to imagine it, to feel this stretch here in the outside of the hip, in the outside of this glute area. All right? You can do it with a pigeon stretch, but you can also do it with a figure 4 stretch. I like the figure 4 stretch because you have a lot of control and you can tweak and you can adjust. But you have to know how to tweak and know how to adjust. So that's the con. Let's get into it. To do the figure 4, we're going to lie down on the ground. We're going to extend one leg. We're going to cross it over to the other side, just below the knee, right? There's the number 4 that we were talking about. And you can start by just reaching your arm through the triangle you made and around the triangle you made. You can focus on just pulling this leg in towards you, and you'll start feeling the stretch out here in this outer hip side of the glute area. All right, and that is the basic stretch. If you are feeling a little bit of discomfort in the knee, you can give your knee a little bit of support and pull on it as well. That should make it a little bit more comfortable. And that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Don't relax too much. You're supposed to be feeling a stretch. My eyes are closed, but I'm not sleeping, I promise. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, relax for a second. Breathe. We're going to switch over to the other side. All right. Same thing. We're sticking that leg up, crossing it over, making that figure 4, that number 4 upside down-ish. Reaching our hands through the triangle that we just made to pull in on that knee. You're going to notice perhaps that one side is way more flexible than the other side, and you're struggling with one side. This is my struggle side. And that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18. We're almost done with our stretches. The thing after this is the side splits. Everything that we've done so far has been to prepare our body for the side splits by pre-stretching some of the muscles that we're going to use, maybe stretching them harder than we would use them in the side splits to begin with, so that we're maximally prepared for the side splits themselves. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh. Relax for a second. Come on down. Breathe. I hope you're mentally prepared because it's time for some side splits. All right, let's go. Come on up. Grab a sip of water. Drink some coffee. I'm going to scroll through the comments real fast, and then we will move right on into some side splits. If you're just joining in and you have no idea what we're doing, we do 45 minutes or so of live side split stretch. And we do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little community, and hopefully my good vibes, your good vibes in the chat, communicating with each other, make the struggling on the floor a little bit more easy, a little bit more bearable. I do the counting, as somebody in the comments mentioned, so you don't have to think about it. And I hope that's enough fun, it's enough consistency to keep you excited and keep you coming back so you can keep practicing and we can practice together doing the side splits. I did not just drop the cap of my water bottle, but that's... All right, anyways, follow, subscribe, do all those cool things. Keep coming back because we're here every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, order break's over. Come on back, everybody. Let's go. Actually, you can keep drinking water. I'm just going to explain some stuff. So I need to be done, but you can keep drinking water. We care about feeling safe and feeling secure. This isn't some woo-woo stuff. If that, makes you unhappy, whatever floats your boat. But it is about how your brain works. If you are in a position where you feel really tense, where you're feeling scared, if you're feeling uncomfortable, you might notice this, right? Like your breath is a little bit faster, your energy is like a little bit more tense, you're a little bit more easily startled. If somebody taps your shoulder when you're walking down a stark, sketchy street, you'll be like, whoa, what's going on, right? Those feelings do not help you when we're trying to stretch. Those feelings make your muscles really tense and counter stretch stuff. So we want to the best of our ability, make the environment feel safe, feel secure, feel comfortable so that we can relax into a stretch. Why am I explaining all this? One, because, if next time you're really trying to stretch, you can't stretch, maybe it's stress. The other thing is this back wall. When you are in a deep, stretched front split, side split, whatever split position, you start falling forward or to a side where you can put your arms down comfortably. It's easy. No big deal. But when you start going backwards, when you're like, oh, what's going on? And you start falling backwards, things are really scary, right? And that fear, if you do fall, it's not going to help you make any progress for the rest of the day. You're just going to be like, wow, that was so scary. I just slammed my butt into the ground. So let me introduce you to my friend, the wall. Not the door handle, the wall. It's here to keep you safe. If you stay just 6 to 12 inches in front of the wall, if you fall backwards, your butt is going to slam, your shoulder is going to slam, maybe your mid-back will even slam into the ground. As long as you tuck your head and your head's not the first thing to smash into the wall, it will definitely help keep you safe. One, the impact will hurt less than falling all the way to the ground. But two, having something to lean back against makes it feel pretty reliable and safe. So that's the feeling we're going after. That was a really long ramble. I'm not sure why I spent so much time on it, but wall, keep you safe, stand 6 to 12 inches in front of it, and we're going to continue and we're going to move on. Open up those legs nice and wide as you can, but don't feel discomfort in the hips. If it's starting to hurt, you can bring it back up. All right, we're going to fold forward, put the hands down, and we're going to try and do something that looks a little bit like a mini push-up. It's not because I'm trying to strengthen your arms, it's because I want you to shift some of your body weight into your hands so that there's less weight and less pressure on the leg. And what we want to do with that opportunity is to rotate the legs so the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. Okay? From here, walk your hands slightly back towards your hips. Try to put that weight that we removed right back into the legs. You're going to get into a deeper stretch. It's going to get more and more uncomfortable. And we're just going to take a couple of quick breaths here. Try to relax. Woo. One last thing. We're going to wiggle from side to side to see if maybe friction is the only thing holding us back from a deeper side split. Just break that friction, holding our heels and our feet down. And once you're as deep as you can get, it's time. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Try to pull your legs out of that side split. Bring the knees in. Chill, relax, hang out for a second, and breathe. Okay. When you can, come back into standing. We're going to shake it out. So what we just did was create a lot of tension in our legs, get really stuck. What we're going to try to do for the next couple of seconds is to relax them out. So what I want you to try is to flick. Flick your hands, flick your legs like you're just trying to drip some water off of your leg. You just stepped out of the shower and you're like, ooh, I can't find my towel. How do I get dry? I don't know if that's a good example. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Flick, flick the water off your legs. And as you get more comfortable with this, you don't have to exaggerate the knee as much. You can just sort of flop and kick and be more, I don't know, loose. Usually, I call this wiggling, shaking, ramen noodles, pasta, freshly out of the pot. We want to just have this looseness, this jello-iness to our bodies. And the reason for that is because if your muscles are still really tense, you're going to move a little bit like a robot. We don't want that. We want the exact opposite. We want your muscles to be relaxed so that when you do your next split, when you do your next stretch, they are prepared to give our best. All right? Whew. That is the wiggles. Now, let's continue with a couple of hip and joint checks. We're going to do a couple of quick hip circles. You only have to do one or two. If nothing feels weird, you can continue. High knee. Everything feels good. Continue. Drop into this quarter squat, mini squat. Put some pressure in the knees. Put some pressure in the ankles. Come up and do a little bit of a calf raise if you can. If everything feels normal, seems like it's working, then we're good to start round 2 of the side splits. Once again, get close to that wall for safety. If you are about 8 to 12 inches away from the wall, when you start falling backwards, your butt might just land against the wall. Maybe your shoulder will land against the wall, and you won't fall all the way down and bust your butt cheeks. All right, let's go. Open up those legs, nice and wide. Breathe. Put your hands down. Externally rotate the legs so your ankles are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Walk your hands backwards towards your hips. Put that pressure right back into your legs. Do a little wiggle from side to side. break that last little bit of friction holding you back, and let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. You can add a little wiggle from side to side at any time. 6, 5, almost done. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl your hands forward. Pull your legs in. If your legs are tired, that's totally normal. You can give your hips a little bit of a light massage if you want. But when you can, come back into standing and let's shake it out. We just finished round 2 of the side splits. We got one last round of 30 seconds to go. So we're going to extend the shaking, the wiggling, the flopping a little bit longer because we just did 2 side splits. And now we want them to super relax before the third and final one. So hang out. Let's shake. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. As you get more skilled at sort of relaxing your leg muscles and flopping around, you'll realize that you can get loose much, 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 much faster. And you might be able to shake and almost like vibrate the leg. You're gonna feel all sorts of tissue sort of jiggling from side to side. And that is what we want. We want just the whole leg to be released, the whole leg to be a noodle, and eventually you can spend like 4 or 5 seconds on it instead of 20 seconds and get as much relaxation because you're training your body to relax, you're training your body to release. Okay, one last thing to add in. This time I want you to do a little bit of internal rotation at the hip and external rotation at the hip. What that means is we're trying to keep the hip in the same place, right? And we're trying to move the leg in and out. So your toes or the ball of your foot is down and your knee is turning in and out. You don't have to do that many of these. I'm just demonstrating for demonstration's sake. And because I was explaining things, I forgot how many we've done. That's okay. This is just to get your hips moving a little bit before we go into other stuff. All right. It's time for some checks. Let's do our hip circles. Ooh, yeah. I'm going to do some high knees. You don't have to do very many, just making sure everything feels and works well. Knees, ankles, feet, feeling that pressure. Do a calf raise, make sure everything feels good. And with that, I think we have relaxed and chilled for long enough that our legs should be ready for round 3 of the side splits. If you're feeling a little nervous, you're feeling apprehensive, you feel like you're not totally relaxed yet, you can take a couple more seconds to shake it out. Let's do it. Again, stand close to that wall for safety. In case you fall back, the wall is there to keep you safe. Maybe your butt will slam, maybe your shoulder will slam. Just tuck your head and it will help you from, falling really far and busting your butt. Let's go. Open up those legs decently wide. Put your hands down like you're going to do a push-up. Use that opportunity to externally rotate the feet and the legs so that your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. Once you've got that down, walk your hands back towards your hips. Over time, you should be sinking slowly into a deeper stretch. Do a little wiggle from side to side to see if there's just friction holding you back from a slightly deeper stretch. And once you are as deep as you can get, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We're done. Walk your hands forward. Slowly pull your legs in if your legs are struggling today or after that third round. Ooh, that is totally normal. That's why we only do 3 rounds. Once you are kneeling or in a comfortable position, feel free to give yourself a little light massage. And come back into standing. Okay. Shake out the legs, shake out everything. We are basically done. We're going to do a little bit more shaking, a little bit more relaxing so that your legs don't do random crazy things when you go back to your normal life. We're going to relax the legs. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, shake, shake. Again, we're trying to shake out the tension. We're trying to create looseness and relaxation. And creating relaxation sounds counterintuitive, but we're using tricks to help our muscles to relax and train our brain to relax faster. All right? Now that you've shaken it out, I want you to very intentionally do some hip movement, right? Knees in and out. You can call it the stanky leg if you like. Not really the stanky leg, but it's fine. You know, you can call it a dance move. Do it on the other side. And you can do it together. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Give your hips a little bit more of a light massage, or, you know, if you're really uncomfortable, give yourself a heavy massage. Once you're feeling more or less normal again, let's do the final round of joint checks, and we will wrap up for today. Hip circles. Do a little bit extra as we end, just to make sure nothing feels weird at all. When you're doing them a little bit faster, you're like, oh, okay, that doesn't really hurt that bad. Cool, we can move on. But now that we are done, take your time, examine what's going on with the body. Put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles, put some pressure in the feet to the toes. Do that calf raise. Make sure everything feels strong. And once you've done that, we're done. It's time to wrap up. I'm going to come over to the chat, see how we're doing. And we are doing incredible on time, 47 minutes. I think it's because I have not been coming back to the phone at all today and engaging in the chat. But we did good. Whew. I think this might be the fastest time I've wrapped up in a very long time. I hope you had fun. I hope you felt like it was good. I hope you stretched out and you felt like your side splits are getting better. And I hope you enjoyed practicing consistency because that's what we are all about. All right, I'm going to scroll through the chat real quick. Eduardo, welcome back. It's good to see you. Thank you for being awesome in the YouTube chat. I appreciate you. Ooh, if you're just joining in at the very last minute, we just wrapped up 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community with a fun group of people in the chat. And hopefully my good vibes, your good vibes, hanging out with each other in the chat, help you to practice consistency because it is so much harder to, you know, suffer on the floor by yourself in silence than it is to hang out with a bunch of other people and do the workout together, right? I'm trying to get much faster and smoother and ramble less so that I can save your valuable time so you can go back to do other things. And if it feels like it is becoming too impersonal because I don't spend time talking to people in the chat anymore, let me know, because that is not the intention. The intention is to respect your time and get as much of your workout in as possible. Cool? All right. Scroll through. Alec400 says, "Good morning, Master Ken." That is a big descriptor. I don't know what I'm saying. Master Ken sounds really nice, but I don't deserve that. I'm not a master. I'm just your friendly like bro not bro, but like friendly dude in the neighborhood who is just trying to help everybody get a little bit better. Michelle says, "Third visit, I'm feeling great. My chronic foot and leg pain is so much better." What? That's crazy. What else are you doing? Is it just the live size splits that we're doing together and it's helping to relieve chronic foot and leg pain? Because that would be absolutely crazy. Crazy. I appreciate that you're here, and I appreciate that you've enjoyed the lives enough that you're here for your third time. Um, I'm really happy to hear that your foot and leg pain is getting better. That's incredible. I just took a screenshot because, you know, on days where I get a lot of YouTube haters or something, occasionally I like to look at compliments and get my feelings up. I'm just making stuff up now. I don't know what I'm saying. Alec 400 says, "I'm impressed how high you can get on your toes, bro. How? On my toes? Like what? Like calf raise? Like that? Um, I don't know. I don't know when it happened or how it happened. I guess at some point it just happened, and I've maintained that skill ever since. Um, you know, it's just strength, right? If you point your toes can do this, and that means that hypothetically you can get strong enough to get that high off the ground when doing your calf raises. If you've seen ballerinas without their actually, maybe you don't want to see ballerinas without their point shoes on, but if you've seen the level of flexibility and strength that those toesies can have when you're at like an elite level, it's genuinely crazy. I've seen people who can stand on like just their big toe in this pointed shape, and I can't imagine that's good for your toes, but they can. And I've seen people who have so much mobility in their toes that they can bend like at the joint here all the way back 90 degrees and just kind of like walk around, or like slide around, because if they actually walk, then the toes will come back. They'll spring back into normal foot shape, but they'll just like slide around like this. And like instead of us going like this, they can go. And yeah, the foot is capable of a lot, and our bodies are capable of a lot. So just because it doesn't feel super normal, a lot of these things can be trained, and it's wild. You did it mid squat though. Looks so painful. What did I do? Mid squat, mid squat. When did I do squats? Like this from here? Um, I think it's just calf strength. I don't know what else it could be from. So work on those calf raises. They're really good for you. And also, it's just full range of motion, right? Like if you point your toes all the way and you are trying your best to use the full range of motion, if you slowly train it, I'm sure you can develop it. It'll just take time. And, for most people, it doesn't feel like that valuable a goal because what do you need that for? So prioritize the things that you care about, right? If you want to have a really cool skill, because looking cool, showing off skills is badass, then, you know, there's no shame in that. I want to look cool all the time. So do the cool thing. If you feel like your calf mobility, your calf strength has limited you in some way, go train that, right? Like if you don't need it for anything in particular, if it doesn't impact you in your daily life, it's really not that important, right? Like a lot of training is like this. Um, the internet bros will be like, oh, that's not the most optimal way of getting stronger, or that's not the most optimal way of getting or building muscle. That's not the da 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 da, whatever the scenario situation is, right? Not everybody's trying to build muscle all the time. Not everybody is trying to look like a bodybuilder. Not everybody is trying to move like a bodybuilder. So you should train what you feel like is valuable to you. And if it's valuable to you, it's more likely that you're going to enjoy doing it, right? Like if you like calf raises, do more calf raises. If you love the appearance of strong calves, the big bulgy muscle, by all means, go train the crap out of that muscle and show off to everybody you can. Wear shorts 100% of the day. um, I don't know why I went on this tangent, but other people are going to tell you it's not the best way to do X, Y, and Z. And you can take that for what it is. It's your best is not somebody else's best, right? You have different criteria for what makes your best thing different from their best thing. If their only goal is to be the biggest gym bro, or maybe they don't even exercise, maybe they're just a keyboard warrior and they just like to spread unhappiness across the internet, then you can try your best to ignore them. Sometimes it really stings though, and you can't help it. Just try your best. Do something else. Have fun. Enjoy life. Ignore the 15 characters of
bummer messages on the internet. Okay, Michelle says, no other stretching outside of your lives. It's about core strength, flexibility, and feeling good, and you're helping us do that. Ah, Michelle, that's so sweet. Um, I'm glad that I could be of service. I'm glad that I'm doing something that's actually helpful, right? Like this whole thing started because I was trying to be better about doing things that I said I cared about, but I wasn't actually doing. I said I cared about mobility. I said I cared about flexibility, but I really wasn't stretching for years and years. And at some point, I was like, okay, it's time. It's time to like really turn things around. I gotta just be a different person and I need a better way to hold myself accountable because I have all this knowledge in my head from just trying stuff and doing stuff years and years ago, and then for like 10 years I just didn't do anything. And uh, that's how this thing evolved, right? I knew other people have the same feelings. You just need a little bit of a push, a little bit of motivation. You need some good energy to help you do the thing, right? I'm creating content on social media right now, right? You can't imagine what my family members and most of my friends are like. Like, they're like on the surface friendly and supportive, which is amazing, right? I couldn't expect anything more. But deep down inside, they're like, oh, like, is this going to be a meaningful endeavor for Ken? And it can be emotionally hard to do something different than other people. And what you are doing, stretching, practicing mobility, is different from most people because if everybody was practicing stretching and everybody was practicing mobility, the whole world would move a lot better. And probably there'd be a lot less pain and weird body stuff going on across the world, right? What you're doing is different. What you're doing is unique. Setting time aside to do it is going to feel a little bit strange to a whole bunch of people, right? And that's okay. This is what's important to you. So you go ahead and do that. But, having somebody be there to support you a little bit, at least emotionally, fill in the time, make the suffering a little bit less painful, makes everything a little bit more fun. That's good. That's good. I started rambling and I don't know where I'm going with this, so I'm gonna just wrap it up right there. Alec 400 says, "Strength for life is better than aesthetics. Low, I hope to reach your level someday." Dude, you can absolutely reach my level someday, and it will be sooner rather than later if you stay consistent. If the only thing that you do is the stretches that we do together, it's gonna be a little bit challenging because we're not doing very much strengthening or muscle building, especially for the calves, right? There's just a little bit of that stuff. Um, but if you stick with a very basic like calisthenics program, so you don't need equipment, maybe a pull-up bar, there is plenty of growth that can happen over time as long as you stay consistent. Consistency is the hardest thing, and that's why we spend so much time talking about consistency every day. Like we keep on coming back. We're at 9 p.m. Eastern, staying and practicing consistency. And hopefully, this helps you build that muscle, the consistency muscle, so that you can go apply it to anywhere else in your life, like making your calves look badass. Cool. You said aesthetics isn't as important as moving well, but I think deep down inside you care about your calf muscles. Anyways, that's enough on that topic. Over here on YouTube, Nobodu88292 asks, "Why is there only one person?" Um, Love calisthenics. I was so consistent, then got injured and was told to rest for 2 months. That is super discouraging, and I totally hear you. For the last couple of weeks, I've been taking time off from doing really intense side splits. I started this month, or actually, it's December now. I started last month going, I'm gonna crush some side splits, and I was gonna spend 10 minutes doing a really, really, really intense hold. And at some point, my hips started hurting, and I was like, okay, well, I probably overdid it. It's time to take a little bit of a break, and I'll come back to this again when my body's able to handle it. I think my body's able to handle it, so I should be back doing some more, but I haven't started yet. Uh, it's really challenging to have something that you're really focusing and trying to put a lot of time into, and then your body's like, nope, 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 you can't handle it quite that intensely anymore, and you need to take a break. Those breaks are hard because it forces you to go do something else for that time, and maybe calisthenics for you, Nobodu, is super important. And you're trying to make it a thing. Maybe you're trying to practice consistency, and all of a sudden you can't practice consistency for 2 months. Super challenging. But I'm glad you are squeezing in some stretching. You're squeezing out something else that's good for your body in the meantime. So good on you for that. Yeah, I've been trying to get back into calisthenics. I did about a month and a half, 2 months, a month and a half ago. And I was really, really, really consistent, but I have been not so good because I thought I was going to really focus on the side splits and I need to claw back some time from the rest of the workouts. Yeah, that's a lot of context. I don't know if you need to know all that, but now you do. Nobodu says, "Hey, do you know how to do a curtsy squat?" And it's sad to hear that, but you also got to take a break if you're productive. Yeah. I don't even know what a curtsy squat is, but I know what a curtsy is, and I know what a squat is. So I'm gonna try to combine both things off the top of my head into something that looks cool. So a curtsy would be something like that, right? Like a bow. And I imagine a curtsy squat would look like this. And my girlfriend has pulled up an image on the computer to help show me that it is exactly what that is. Okay, sweet. Obviously, that is not the type of fitness video that I typically watch, so I had to piece it together. Um, the curtsy squat, as I'm doing it, I feel like there's two parts, right? One of the parts is this. You're doing basically a lunge, but you're bringing the leg back here. So you're opening up the hips a little bit more, bring this foot back, and you're doing this. So I imagine there's got to be a little bit of variation in what your hips are doing. If you open your hips and you're pointing out this way, for example, towards the camera, then this leg is basically doing like a plie squat, right? If you have done some ballet or some dance, it looks like that. And this back leg is back here and it's doing a little bit more of a normal lunge, right? But if you switch that around and you shift the hips so that this hip stays perfectly in front and this leg is doing the front leg thing, and you bring this leg back, then you're really trying to work on hip mobility, trying to rotate this leg behind you. I'm trying to figure out what the best angle to demonstrate this would be. Right? You're trying to square up the hips, trying to keep them together, and you're trying to go down, maybe wider stance. And that is the breakdown. It should be moves for the most part that you're familiar with. I think the one thing that most people don't practice would be rotating this leg and bringing it back and trying to support in the squat. Other than that, if it's like this, the front leg is pretty standard. If it is like this, then this is open. Yeah, so the curtsy squat, I guess depending on how you shift your hips, and I assume most people will coach it a little bit differently, you have two main positions that might feel a little bit new to you. The one that is going to feel pretty similar is going to be a lunge, right? The leg going forward and the leg going back. And in the curtsy, your leg is going backwards to the side, which causes your hips to rotate. If you try to your best to keep your hips from rotating, then this leg is going to rotate inside the hip joint, right? And that movement is going to be really challenging because it will be relatively new for you. On the other hand, if you focus on keeping the, what am I saying, the back leg locked in and you want the curtsy squat without the corresponding hip rotation for this leg. Wow, I'm forgetting what I'm saying. Let me think. If the hips are locked in, the back leg is stuck, and the front leg is doing its normal thing. Okay, cool. So the front leg starts doing what is a normal lunge, right? And alternatively, if you want the hips to shift, you can open up the hips so that the back leg is basically doing the back of a lunge, but the front leg is really wide open and is equivalent of going like this, right? So it feels like a little bit more like that. So those are the really exaggerated versions and taking it to a very extreme level of opening up your hips in the curtsy squat. I'm gonna check to see if any specific questions because I just broke it down. It's sad to hear that we also gotta. Okay, I think I think for most people, the curtsy squat is just a unique movement pattern that they're not quite used to because it's a combination of multiple moves that they might know, but they haven't quite figured out. So you're just like shifting in between what you know and what you don't know. The curtsy squat is actually really good if you want to work on your pistol squat strength, your one leg strength, because a lot of it can come from either leg. So this is the pistol squat. A lot of it can come from either leg. If you lean more forward, then this front leg will do a lot more work. If you lean further back, then this back leg can do a lot more work, and you might feel a bit of a stretch in the hip flexor. I'm gonna try it on the other side. I've only done it on one leg this whole time. Now I'm confused. Hold on. How is it doing this? Boom, boom, boom. Okay. We try to square up the hips. And if we try to open up the hips, I imagine most people will tell you to try to square up the hips, but I think it's probably perfectly fair to train them both ways. You will probably have one that you prefer. So start with the one that you prefer and then slowly try to get to a different position. And all of the variation is probably coming from how your hips are pointed, right? I hope that makes sense. Whew. We did a lot of squats. All right. Nobodu on YouTube says, it's great for hip mobility and glutes. I feel it in the glutes. Think of a dragon squat, like from curtsy to front. Yes. I'm learning and doing it with you as well as do understand how to do it properly. Very cool. Yeah, it seems like a very effective squat for building up one leg strength, for working on balance, for working on hip mobility all at the same time. So it's very cool. I think it's a great version for slowly tweaking into more advanced skills while working on a combination of things all at the same time. It's kind of cool. I liked it. Thank you for sharing. Okay, we are back on TikTok real quick. Scroll through the chat. Alec400 says they follow on YouTube. Thank you for following on YouTube. I appreciate it. And Alec has adjusted their feet position. I assume we're talking about the curtsy squat. Cool. I adjusted my feet position and now hands up. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm glad. Yeah. A lot of exercises are like that. You just tweak one thing and then it suddenly feels super familiar to you. A lot of the time, there's just a learning curve. When you start a new exercise, you might feel like you're weak, maybe you're not mobile enough. A lot of the time, it's just your brain trying to figure out that movement pattern for the first time, right? Like some people just seem like they can just do everything. And most of the time, it's because they've done enough movement patterns and had enough variety that it's not a foreign brand new position to them or a brand new type of movement to them. And if it's not a brand new movement, it's easy to pick up. It's like, what's an example of this? It's like riding a bicycle, right? Once you've learned how to ride a bicycle, the first time you get back onto a bicycle after years and years of not riding a bike, it's a little bit weird. And then after like 5 minutes, you're like, oh, cool, I got this. I can do this again. And it's no problem, right? A lot of people who you feel like are just trying new things and all of a sudden they can do it, they basically have that, right? If they keep on trying new things and they keep on trying to get better at like a little bit of a lot of things, they get a little bit of an introduction into a lot of different types of skills. And that introduction will feel like to somebody who's never done that thing before or never done something similar to it before, it'll feel like, wow, this guy is like a legendary super genius at learning whatever sport. And usually, for the most part, it's they've just practiced a movement that's kind of similar so they can adapt to it and work with it. Right? You gotta figure out how to move your body. And that first time around, learning each new move takes time. You gotta figure out how to do things. Your brain's gotta adjust and tweak. And it is just a matter of time and practice. If you feel like you're struggling with a position, Just give yourself some time. Give yourself some grace. You got this. Okay. Alec 400 says, I can do the ballerina style squat, but not a normal deep squat. Oh, okay. So there is a lot of stuff going on in that question because the hips are so complicated and there's so many freaking muscles in there trying to fight you while you do a deep squat. Um, so you can do a ballerina squat. So you can externally rotate the legs. You can come on down. That's good. But as you can see, I'm pretty sure I have relatively good ankle flexibility here. My ankle's already coming up. Let's try to drop those heels down. If this is your ballerina squat and you feel really good about it, notice the angles that you're creating, right? Like right now, maybe if I really open it up, even if I really open it up, this angle between this bone and the hip bone, you have to get really, really, really mobile to get it down. Oh man. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. Oh, what's going on in my hips? Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, boom. So, I guess if we open up the legs so that they're further apart and we drop down as low as we get something really close to a deep squat, right? But this is very dependent on that hip external rotation, that opening up of the hip. And when we shift our legs in front for a deep squat, the way it works is a little bit different, right? Like if you can hang out here with your legs really wide open, I think which I've suggested in the past that you try, it is going to, how do I say this? It's going to give your hips a little bit more space because you're spread out. That's kind of like a weird, it's not, I don't think it's technically true, like what's actually happening in your groin, but when you point your knees out to either side, it allows for these muscles in the front to not jam up and clench together. For most people who are struggling with the deep squat, it's a combination of a couple of things. You kind of want to bring your knees forward so that these muscles don't get in the way, right? Like you really want to tuck in. And when you're trying to tuck in, it tends to be the case, especially if you have short legs, because this could totally be the problem, that your center of gravity just wants to fall backwards, right? And that means you want your knees to go really forward over your toes. And you might want to lean really far forward in order to push your knees over your toes. If you have the ankle mobility for this, it's a combination of other things that make it hard. If you have a really long torso and you can't fold forward far enough, you just want to fall backwards, it's, gravity is just not working for you. And that's okay. What else do I know about this deep squat position? Because I can demonstrate what's happening for me, and you can have me as your human example test subject. But I'm pretty confident I have solid ankle mobility. My knees are going pretty far over my toes. I'm feeling a lot of pressure here in the tibialis muscles, the muscles that raise your feet. And like I can hang out in the deep squat for a little bit, but I can't hang out in it for a long time because I am actively controlling the muscles, trying to keep them there. It is not a restful, comfortable position for me unless I lean forward a little bit. If I lean forward, I get even more ankle mobility out of this because my heels are currently off the ground, right? Then I can hang out a lot more comfortably. But for me to have that kind of ankle mobility, my knees would have to be like down here perpetually to do that. So I don't think it's an ankle mobility problem necessarily. I think it's a combination of like 6 different little things that force you to be in an uncomfortable position. But if you open up your legs, you don't need nearly as much hip mobility to stay in a relatively comfortable position. Like here, it is really, really, really challenging, right? But if you go wider, now Now I can hang out. I don't know if that made any sense. I kind of just started rambling and thinking things out loud. So let me know if that was useful at all. If it's not, just ignore everything I said and we can move on. Okay, Nobodu, back on YouTube, said, I don't understand properly where to keep my back leg as well. I have a couple of philosophical things to say about this. If you are working with somebody who has strict requirements, then follow their plan. But every exercise that you do is to help strengthen you, right? Like it's to help move you towards your goals. So if you are doing the curtsy squat a little bit wrong, by somebody's standard, as long as you're not putting yourself in a position where you're getting injured, I think you're probably strengthening your legs, right? And when you have that strength, you have it at a slightly different angle, it will apply broadly to another tiny tweak of the form. So I don't think you have to obsess too much on form as long as most of the movement is feeling like it's coming from the right joints and the right muscles. Muscles, that was the word I was looking for. How do joints move? Curtsy squat. I think every version that you do will strengthen your legs and strengthen your hips and work on that mobility in a slightly different way. And these are all sort of just giving a name to different progressions, right? Like we were just doing these ballerina squats. If you open it up far enough, some people just call this a horse dance, right? If you do the fifth position in ballet, and you do, I'm pretty sure this is, I haven't done ballet in 2 decades, but if you have something like this, then you just extend that leg, you're basically in a curtsy squat, right? Like you rotate the knee just a tiny bit, and here you are in your curtsy squat. So, in my opinion, anything that you train, as long as you're working on hip mobility, as long as you're working on strength, is going to be good for you. And unless you're following a very strict standard for some reason, right? Maybe you're preparing for a program that requires you to be really good at a perfect curtsy squat, then I don't think you need to worry about too much of the details about perfection. It's cool, it's helpful, but if it's going to keep you from doing more reps and getting the regular consistency, then it doesn't matter. Okay, Nobodu said, okay, I saw some videos. You do the normal lunge, then do a curtsy right behind your front leg. So it's correct. Okay, awesome. That's what I thought. That's what I figured it would be for most people because it's a little bit easier to teach, right? You want one leg to feel standard and the other leg to have the adjustment. I'm glad I talked about all the possibilities. Okay, we are 80 minutes in. I think I am about ready to wrap up for today. I don't see any more comments on TikTok, and I don't think we have anything else to talk about on YouTube. So let's wrap up. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for asking wonderful questions, Nobodu, on YouTube, and Eduardo for sending good vibes as per usual. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and I hope you enjoyed practicing consistency with me today while we did the side splits. We're here every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern, practicing consistency. I don't know why I fumbled that in my head. We're here every day at 9 p.m. Eastern, practicing consistency, building a little bit of community. So feel free to please engage in the chat, get to know each other, ask questions, because it really helps me keep my vibes up when I know that you're here and you're hanging out. Yeah, so hopefully I made the suffering on the floor a little bit more fun for you. The counting helped make it so that you didn't have to stare at your phone and be tapping things. And you had a little bit of fun. Cool. That's it from me. I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, I got one more comment in here. Thanks, Splits. I hope you get more famous, dude. 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, try to be there. Lovely. I hope to see you tomorrow. Okay, wrapping up, closing out, hitting all the X's. Let's